Hey there everybody, how's it going? It's Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff here on FlossTube. I'm coming to you on this Monday, July 28th, 2025 with a FlossTube Extra. In this video, we're going to learn how to play the Big Brother Stitchy game as I have written it, but there are, of course, as always, options for customizing. Before I get into everything, welcome everybody. Welcome to both my returning viewers as well as anybody who is new here. Perhaps you are new to my channel. I create games for stitching. It seems to be sort of my my area, what have you. So the Big Brother Stitchy game, what is it? It is a Stitchy game that I created towards the end of last year's season. And it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. Per usual, I pitched my idea to Sammy over at Sammy J Stitches, and I said, should I do this? And she said, yes, you should do this, and we should all do this, and this would be a lot of fun. And that sort of snowballed into creating a Stitchy game to coincide with the Great British Bake Off, or Great British Baking Show. So I knew that heading into this summer's season of Big Brother, that I wanted to get ahead of the game and put the rules out before things got started. But here's the thing about Big Brother. It is a reality TV show, just in case you're wondering, and the current season in the United States is airing now. The thing about Big Brother is that the first couple of weeks, things are different. There are lots of twists. There are often changes that are made to the game from the word go, and it's very difficult to plan for a structured Stitchy game when I'm not sure what new rules Julie and the people over at Big Brother might come up with. So I was waiting until the airing of the first episode, and then I would come back the very next day and dispel the rules. And what ended up happening is I was out of town for 2 weeks, right around the first couple of weeks of Big Brother. So that is why we are a couple of weeks in. Week 3 just got started officially last night. And so we are finally here to talk about how to play Big Brother, or how to stitch for Big Brother. Okay, one note. I do not have any vision correction in right now. I'm a little bit vision impaired. I am extremely nearsighted, but my glasses were throwing off too much glare. So we'll, for want of a better pun, we'll see how this goes. Because I'm a little bit vision impaired today, but it's what we got to do. I'm not putting in my contacts today. It is what it is. Okay, let's get started with how this works. This season, Big Brother 27, kicking off here in the summer of 2025, there are 17 house guests. I'm going to use the term house guests / cast members / cast mates. I'll use those terms interchangeably. Just know that they all mean the same thing. So there are 17 house guests this season. And they do a similar formula each and every week. So let's go through the formula and then we can talk about the nitty-gritty of how to play this. So on Sunday nights, typically what airs is an episode where they have what is determined as the head of household for the week. So they have a competition to determine who the head of household is. The head of household is responsible for nominating this season 3 cast members potential up for elimination. So those are what we call the nominations. And so by the end of Sunday night, the head of household typically makes their nominations. Okay. Then we have an episode on Wednesday, and on Wednesdays we have what's known as the veto competition. And in the veto competition, the 3 house guests that are nominated, the head of household, and then usually a couple of additional randomly chosen house guests play the veto competition Whoever wins that veto competition has the ability to veto one of the nominations if they so choose. They don't have to, but they have the ability to if they win that competition. Okay, then we get to Thursday night, and Thursday night is where a lot of things happen, especially this season. So once the veto is played, if the veto is played, the head of household has to make a renomination, and that usually happens on Wednesday nights. Sometimes it doesn't happen until Thursday night for the reality TV drama effect, if you will. So we have a renomination potentially. Then this season we have something known as the BB Blockbuster, which is essentially, it is a special, very short competition that puts the 3 nominations up against each other. Whoever wins that competition is off the block or out of nominations. So we're down to 2 nominations. Then the other house guests go into the diary room and they cast their vote to evict one of the two nominations. So we have an eviction. We have a house guest that leaves the competition. That is the basic premise. There are plot twists and changes to the game that pop up and various things, but that's kind of the basics for how the game works. And then we can talk about, as it comes closer, I will add addendums to this video because there is something special called a double eviction night, where they cram a whole week's worth of Big Brother into one night. And then when we get to the very end, then the rules change a little bit. So for now, this is going to be the plan. We stitch for the head of household. We stitch for the nominations, the 3 nominations that the head of household makes at the beginning. We stitch for whoever wins the veto competition. We stitch for if there is a renomination. We stitch for the BB Blockbuster, who wins the BB Blockbuster. We stitch for who is evicted. And we stitch for any special competitions because sometimes those pop up. Okay, so let's go over how this will work. I have linked in the description box of this video. I also have it on my link tree on my Instagram, so I am Jessie Does Stuff on Instagram. I have a link tree on my profile. If you go there, you have access to these files there as well. So the first one I'm going to show you here, I have printed out. This is the cast list. So we have the 17 original house guests for this season listed out here. And what you would do is take this list, and you have 2 options. You can fill this with projects. So you could list out 17 unique projects, or you could repeat however many you like. You have kind of the freedom to list whatever projects you want. That is one version. Another version is to list out stitch counts. So for instance, if you would like to stitch monogamously, or if you would like to change your project out week to week, then you would perhaps list stitch counts. With the monogamous version, or with the stitch counts version, do whatever is most comfortable for you. So you could list out in increments of 100. That would get to be a lot because that's upwards of 1,700 stitches potentially assigned to each of these house guests. But do what works for you. Assign stitch counts accordingly with what you have available and what you want to do. I am doing the projects variety for my own personal game. I'm doing a different project assigned to each player, and I actually have 2 projects assigned to each player, but more on that at a different time. So this is your cast list project worksheet, so that you can fill this with projects and or stitch counts, however you want to play it. I have in here the original stitch counts rules. So the original way that I wrote this is that we did a daily 100 for whoever the head of household is. So here's how this works. We get to Sunday night. We have a head of household competition, and let's say Zay wins head of household. So whatever project I have assigned to Zay, I would do as my daily 100 for the week. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, next, for each nomination is 200 stitches. So this season with 3 nominations, at least here at the beginning of the year, then we would do 200 stitches on the projects assigned to those castmates who were nominated for eviction. Whoever wins the veto competition, we do 300 stitches on their assigned project. For each replacement nominee, we have already seen a case this season where there were actually 2 replacement nominees. So 150 stitches per replacement nominee. You would throw in 150 stitches on those projects assigned to those people who became the replacement nominees. Then we have the special competitions and BB Blockbuster. I just did 100 stitches for that just to simplify. Thursday is shaping up to be a very stitch heavy kind of a night for Big Brother. So simplifying as much as we can. And then I put the eviction at 500 stitches because that's the last time we'll see that project. So I thought that that was apropos. Just 500 stitches is a good send-off. Again, these are totally customizable, and I'll show you how we might do that in the future. Now let's talk about if you're doing the monogamous version, or if you are choosing stitch counts for each of the castmates and instead choosing a project each week. Okay, so going back to our example, let's say I have 1,000 stitches assigned to Zay, and Zay wins head of household. So I would do 1,000 stitches onto my one project for Zay winning head of household. And then the same would be true for the nominations. So let's say we have Will, Kelly, and Keanu are the 3 nominations, and they are assigned 200, 400, and 600 stitches. So I would do 1,200 stitches for the nominations into my singular project. I hope that makes sense. As you can see, if you go the monogamous route, pay attention to your stitch counts because it can add up very fast, particularly with this game, with just the number of things that we are stitching for. So just wanted to put that out there. So you will find this sheet listed below as well as on my link tree. Okay, next we're going to get to the 2 worksheets, and I have 2 separate worksheets for how you want to do things. These were created with the idea of an individual project in mind, as opposed to the monogamous version or the choose a project after the fact kind of a thing. So the first one we have here is the one with the original stitch counts just listed on there, just for easy reference. You can print this in such a way, a lot of printers will let you print 4 pages to a sheet so that you could potentially print out 4 weeks at a time. And so that way you have a reference sheet for what you need to be doing in a checklist. You can tick things off. That's certainly what I have been doing. So that is the original worksheet, and as you can see, those stitch counts are listed there. And then we have the customizable version, which is the same setup. It's just I have left these blank in case my stitch counts don't work for you. Maybe you need to reduce the stitch counts. Maybe you need to do a flat 300 stitches for HOH and to reduce the stitch counts to suit your needs. Then that's what this one is there for. So this is going to be a customizable version. I left this as a PDF because maybe this week is not a great week for you, and so you need to do reduced stitch counts, maybe half the original for this week. But then next week, for one reason or another, your week opens up, and so you could potentially do more stitching. This is for fun. That's the whole thing about the Stitchy games that I create. The goal is just to keep people motivated for stitching, to give people a reason to work on some different things, perhaps. That's certainly why I am using this. But it's just for fun. There's no points. There's no Big Brother Stitchy Game police. There's nobody who is checking your work to make sure that you are doing everything to the letter. So just take this and have fun with it if you so choose. For me personally, I always find, especially towards the end of Big Brother, that I'm just ready for it to be done. And so this game kind of, adding the Stitchy element to it means that I stay interested in what is happening in the game, because I'm cheering for certain cast members to do things so that I can stitch on those projects, etc. So it's a lot of fun. It is a long season. The Big Brother season is always a long season, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So, as mentioned, all of those worksheets are in the description box of this video. You can also always find them on my link tree on my Instagram profile, and I will likely update them every year, at least for a couple of years, unless there is no interest and it's just me and Sammy. At which point I won't need to do that. But for now, that is the plan. Regarding a Facebook group, I've had a couple of folks ask me if I'm opening a Facebook group, and I think yes. So I was debating on whether I was going to make this a Facebook group or a Discord, and I think I've decided that I'm going to stick with Facebook. Now it is not ready yet, but I will update when it's ready, when folks can go ahead and join the group. I will have links and, of course, and all of that jazz. But those things are not ready yet. I was traveling at exactly the wrong time for Big Brother Stitchy game to kick off. So it's coming, but we're not quite ready yet. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Now for me, in this video, I'm not going to be talking about my projects or what I have done or what I'm planning to do. The only thing that I will say is that I am planning on filming Big Brother Stitchy game in a vlog style format, if I can manage it, and uploading those weekly, which is where I will, at the very beginning of those updates, I will post any news about a Facebook group or changes to the game or what have you. So I am also going to create a Big Brother Stitchy game playlist on my channel, so that we have all of that kind of centrally located in one space. But that's more behind the scenes stuff. Just letting you know that I plan on uploading on Sundays my Big Brother Stitchy game of the week, and keeping you up to date on how it's going for me. I think that's everything. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them and hopefully to help clarify. If I need to, I will scrap this video and film it again, just in case things are clear as mud and I'm confusing more than helping. So please let me know if you need help with anything. Okay, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for playing, and expect the unexpected, I suppose. I was really going to throw in a bunch of Big Brother quips, but I am neither Julie Chen Moonves nor am I that creative. So expect the unexpected. As always, be kind. See you on the next one.